The 3v3 strategy arena allows you and 2 teammates or 2 randoms to challenge another team of 3 in a game of strategy. The first round is a 1v1 round where 2 players from each team will fight on half of the arena stage while the remaining teammates spectate both fights from the sidelines. This is where being strategic can set your team up for success. The person on the sideline should ideally be making notes of your team's opponent's weapon sets, health, and mystic skills during the 1v1s and relaying that information to everyone else on the team to establish who is the biggest threat in the second round. The teammates engaged in 1v1s will need to try to stand their ground individually to guarantee the round point goes to your team, as you will need to defeat both opponents to win the round. Now, if one teammate loses, the round goes into a sudden death round, with the winners from each opposing team immediately having to fight one another. That means if you barely won the 1v1 and only have 2 health points against someone with half or more health, there's a good chance you can lose the round if you aren't prepared for the sudden death round. This is again where having a strategist on the sidelines comes in handy. Your strategist should relay how much health the other team's player potentially has if it looks like your teammate is going to lose the 1v1. Then, you would need to use the last few seconds in your own 1v1 to guarantee you get some of your health back using either the healing fan, healing umbrella, or the rope darts healing before finishing off your opponent. The reason you have to get one of these things off before you defeat your opponent is once they are eliminated, you are forced into an idle position and can no longer use your equipment while you wait. Now, if your team wins the first round, the second round is the team round. All 3 players from each team will enter the arena and the last team standing wins the round. This is where having a dedicated strategist helps a lot, and also communicating and being a team player helps. If the strategist relays information about the other team's weapon sets and combat styles, you can then as a team target specific players on the opposing team as a unit and trap the other team's heavy hitters in a cycle of hits and stun locks. Now, if this happens to your team's heavy hitter, you and your other teammate will need to work together to push the other team back, so your teammate can have time to get out of Stunlock City and heal. This is where things like Lion's Roar, Yaksha Rush, Ghostbind, Poison Mist, and Flute of Tides comes in handy, as they disrupt attacks through either a stagger back animation or obscure your opponent's vision just long enough to let your teammate get out of the way. If you have a good understanding of which opponent has which paths set up and your team works as a team, you can very easily take down an unprepared team by going after individuals as a group. My suggestion of attack order is usually take out the healer builds first, because they will just keep healing their teammates as they should, but if your team doesn't have a dedicated healer, this becomes a problem. Then go after the tanks, as they usually have the most health and shields and take a lot of effort to knock down. Then go for the remaining builds, which are more often DPS builds. The reason I suggest saving the DPS builds for last is because very often in PvP, DPS builds are glass cannon builds, with the exception of very serious DPS players. Glass cannon builds will do a lot of DPS damage but neglect upgrading their health, and so they can't take heavy hits in return, making them very easy to take down in the 3v1 setting. Now, if your team wins this round but loses the first round and vice versa, the game will enter a tiebreaker round. During this round, one random player from each team will be forced into the arena and they will have to win a 1v1 to take home the match victory for their team. Personally, I do think the tiebreaker round should be adjusted so that instead of sending someone in at random, the teams can vote on a player to send in instead. Just because sometimes the matchups just aren't fair or fun for either team, and I think a tiebreaker should let the teams put their best foot forward. But that's pretty much a quick rundown of the 3v3 strategy arena mode. Let me know what you think of the mode in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and follow for more Where Winds Meet guides.